Life is full of ups and downs. Everyone faces challenges, worries, and pain that sometimes feel too heavy to carry alone. When problems come, it's natural to want to share them with others, to find comfort, advice, or just a listening ear. But have you ever noticed that sometimes telling others about your problems doesn't help? Instead, it might make things more complicated, cause misunderstandings, or even lead to heartbreak. In Islam, there is a beautiful secret to dealing with our struggles, a way that brings true peace and relief. It is about not just telling anyone your problems, but speaking to Allah alone. This doesn't mean you are alone or that no one cares. Rather, it means you trust the one who created you, the one who knows your pain better than anyone else, and the one who has the power to change every difficulty into ease. In this video, we will explore why keeping your problems between you and Allah is the most powerful and comforting choice you can make. We will understand how this connection brings strength, protection, and blessings that no human can give. You will learn how turning to Allah protects your heart, preserves your honor, and fills your life with hope and patience. If you want to find peace beyond words and healing that touches your soul, then this message is for you. Before we start, please like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Xplorers to support this channel and receive more inspiring Islamic reminders. 1. The problem with sharing your problems with everyone. In life, everyone faces challenges and difficulties, but not everyone chooses the right way to handle these troubles. One common mistake many people make is sharing their problems with everyone around them. At first, it might seem comforting to tell others about what's hurting you. You may think that by speaking out loud, your burden becomes lighter. But in reality, when you tell many people your problems, you risk losing control over your own story. What you say in private may no longer stay private. People may misunderstand your situation or judge you unfairly. Sometimes they might even spread your struggles to others, which can make your problems worse instead of better. When we talk about our problems with many people, we expose ourselves to hurtful reactions. People are imperfect. They have their own feelings, opinions, and limitations. Not everyone will react with kindness or wisdom. Some might respond with criticism or disbelief, making us feel isolated instead of supported. Sharing too much can make you feel more vulnerable and weaker because you are relying on others who may not be able to truly help you. When your trust is broken, your heart breaks as well. In Islam, we are encouraged to be careful about what we say and to whom we say it. The Quran teaches us to avoid speaking negatively about others and warns us about careless words. This advice is not just for how we talk about others, but also about ourselves. Sharing too much about your weaknesses or personal issues can expose you to harm and gossip. It can affect your honor and dignity. Keeping your problems to yourself, or sharing them only with those who truly care and respect your privacy, protects your reputation and gives you control over your own life. This does not mean we should suffer in silence or never seek help. Islam allows us to ask for support from trustworthy and wise people when needed. But even then, we must choose carefully who we confide in. Our problems are sensitive, and not everyone deserves to know them. Sometimes, telling too many people creates more problems and distracts us from finding real solutions. There is a deep wisdom behind guarding your struggles. When you hold your pain quietly and trust Allah alone, your heart finds peace and your spirit becomes stronger. It teaches you patience, self-control, and faith. You learn to rely on Allah's help instead of depending on the uncertain support of others. This spiritual strength is a source of true resilience that no human power can replace. By learning to keep your problems private and speaking only with Allah, you protect yourself from unnecessary pain and protect your inner peace. You develop a special bond with Allah, who is always ready to listen and never judges. This relationship becomes a safe space where your heart can heal and your mind can find clarity. When your problems are known only to Allah, you give yourself the chance to heal away from the eyes of the world, allowing your faith to grow stronger through every challenge. So next time you feel overwhelmed by your problems, remember that not everyone deserves to hear your struggles. Speak to Allah, who understands you better than anyone else. Your silence with people and your openness with Allah will be the key to your peace and success. This is the way of patience and true reliance in Islam. 2. The comfort of turning to Allah alone. In life, when problems come, the heart feels heavy and the mind becomes restless. We all want to find comfort and relief from the struggles we face. Often, we look for someone to listen and understand us. Sometimes, we try to share our pain with friends, family, or even strangers. But what if none of them can truly understand the depth of our pain? What if their words, though well-meaning, fall short of making us feel better? This is why the greatest comfort comes not from human beings, but from turning to Allah alone. Allah is the one who created us. He knows every part of us, even what we cannot say. He understands our pain, our fears, and our hopes better than anyone else. Unlike people, Allah never judges us or gets tired of our problems. He listens with infinite patience and mercy. When you feel broken, confused, or lonely, Allah is always there, ready to hear your silent cries and answer your prayers in the best way. Turning to Allah is the safest place to pour out your heart without fear. When you speak to Allah alone, you create a special connection. It is a private moment that belongs only to you and your Creator. You can be completely honest, without worrying about being judged, misunderstood, or rejected. Allah's mercy is endless, and He promises to respond to those who call upon Him sincerely. This is a comfort that no one else can provide, because it comes from the one who controls everything in the universe. Turning to Allah alone is not just about asking for help. It is also about trusting Him completely. When you put your trust in Allah, you accept that He knows what is best for you, even if you don't understand your situation right now. This trust helps you stay patient and hopeful during difficult times. You begin to see your problems as tests that can make you stronger and better. Allah's wisdom is beyond our understanding, but His plan is always perfect. Prayer or dua is the main way we talk to Allah. It is a beautiful form of worship that brings comfort to the soul. When you pray, you can express your deepest feelings, ask for guidance, and seek forgiveness. This dialogue with Allah strengthens your faith and renews your hope. It reminds you that you are never alone, even when everything seems dark. Many people feel ashamed or weak for admitting their problems, but Islam teaches us that true strength is in turning to Allah with honesty and humility. Sharing your worries with Allah shows your trust in His power and kindness. It also helps you release the burden you carry inside. When your heart feels lighter, you can face your challenges with a fresh spirit and renewed energy. Sometimes, turning to Allah alone leads to answers in ways you do not expect. You may find peace in your heart, solutions to your problems, or even new opportunities. Allah's help might come through a sudden idea, a kind person, or a change in circumstances. Because Allah knows what you need best, He sends help at the right time and in the right way. Turning to Allah also protects you from the harm that can come from sharing your problems with others. People may not always respond kindly. Their advice might be wrong, or their words may hurt. When you rely on Allah's guidance instead of human opinions, you stay safe from confusion and regret. In every difficult moment, remember that Allah is closer to you than your own heartbeat. He loves you more than anyone else ever could. You can find peace by turning to Him and trusting His wisdom. This relationship with Allah is a source of true comfort that no one can take away. So, when your heart feels heavy, do not rush to share your problems with the world. Instead, turn to Allah alone. Speak to Him in your heart, pour out your feelings, and ask for His help. You will find a comfort that no one else can give, a peace that fills your soul and lights your path forward. 3. The power of dua. Dua is one of the most beautiful and powerful gifts Allah has given to us. It is a direct way to speak to our Creator, to express what is in our hearts, and to ask for help, mercy, and guidance. Unlike talking to people, dua is a special conversation that no one else hears except Allah. This makes it a very personal and sacred act. When you make dua, you are showing your deep faith and trust that Allah alone can change your situation. There is no one more powerful or more caring than Him. Many people underestimate the true strength of dua. They may think it is just asking for things, but it is much more than that. Dua connects your heart with Allah's mercy. It opens a door for hope when everything else feels hopeless. When you call out to Allah sincerely, it shows your humility and your belief that no matter how big your problem is, Allah can handle it. This act of turning to Allah fills your heart with peace and light even before your situation changes. Dua is not only a way to ask for help, but also a form of worship. It strengthens your relationship with Allah because it reminds you that you need Him in every part of your life. This need is not a weakness. It is a sign of true strength. Recognizing that you cannot face your difficulties alone and choosing to depend on Allah is the highest level of faith. When you pray and make dua, your heart becomes calmer. The act of speaking to Allah lets you release your fears and worries. It lightens the load you carry inside. This emotional relief is a powerful effect of dua. It helps you think clearly and gives you hope for better days ahead. Sometimes people stop making dua because they feel their prayers are not answered quickly. But we must remember that Allah knows what is best for us. He may delay the answer to teach us patience or to protect us from harm we cannot see. The waiting itself is a form of mercy because it strengthens our faith and reliance on Allah. Never lose hope or stop calling upon Allah, no matter how long it takes. Another important point about dua is sincerity. Dua is accepted when it comes from a humble heart, full of faith and trust. It is not about just repeating words, but about truly meaning what you say and feeling it deep inside. When you pray with sincerity, Allah listens more closely than anyone else ever could. Making dua regularly creates a strong habit of turning to Allah for everything. It keeps your heart connected to your Creator and reminds you that He is always near. This connection is a source of constant peace and happiness that no hardship can break. So, remember that dua is a powerful tool in your life. It is your private conversation with Allah where you can be yourself without fear. When problems come, raise your hands in dua and ask Allah for help. Trust His promise to respond and feel the peace that fills your heart, even before you see the answer. 4. Why people sometimes cannot help. Life often brings challenges that make us want to reach out to others for help. It is natural to seek comfort and support from friends, family, or those around us. Yet many times we find that people cannot truly help us, no matter how much we wish they could. This can be a painful realization, but understanding why others sometimes cannot help is important for our own peace of mind and growth. Firstly, every person has their own limitations. No matter how kind or willing someone may be, they cannot solve every problem or fix every pain. People have their own struggles, responsibilities, and weaknesses. They cannot carry the weight of your problems because they are also carrying their own. Sometimes, even when they want to help, they simply don't have the ability, knowledge, or strength to do so. This is not a failure of theirs, but a reality of being human. Another reason people might not help is because they do not fully understand what you are going through. Everyone's experiences and emotions are unique, and even close friends or family may not grasp the depth of your pain. Sometimes they may underestimate your struggle or respond in ways that feel unkind or insensitive. Their advice or words may seem empty or even hurtful, leaving you feeling more alone than before. People can also be influenced by their own biases, fears, or judgments. They might unintentionally make your situation harder by giving advice based on their own beliefs rather than understanding yours. Sometimes they may avoid helping because they fear involvement or do not want to take responsibility for your problems. This can make you feel rejected, But it is important to remember it is not about your worth. It is about their limitations. In Islam, we are taught to be patient and not to depend too much on others. Our ultimate support and help come from Allah alone. People are just tools in Allah's plan. They can be means of relief, but they are not the source of true help. When you realize that human help is limited, it opens the door for deeper reliance on Allah. Sometimes, the inability of people to help is a blessing in disguise. It teaches us patience, resilience, and trust in Allah's wisdom. It reminds us that no matter how difficult life becomes, we have a Creator who is always near and ready to support us. This awareness changes the way we view hardships. Instead of feeling abandoned or helpless, we see trials as opportunities to grow closer to Allah and strengthen our faith. When people cannot help, it is also a chance to turn inward and find strength within yourself. It encourages self-reflection, personal growth, and spiritual development. You learn to depend less on the opinions and actions of others and more on your own connection with Allah. This inner strength is a powerful source of comfort and courage. It is important to remember that not every struggle needs to be shared widely. Sometimes, when we keep our problems to ourselves and speak only to Allah, we protect our hearts from disappointment. We avoid the pain that comes from unmet expectations and broken trust. This protection allows us to heal quietly and patiently, while maintaining our dignity and hope. People sometimes cannot help because of their own human limits, lack of understanding, or personal fears. This is not a sign of failure or rejection, but a natural part of life. The real source of help and comfort is Allah, who never fails and never leaves us alone. When we learn to accept this and rely on Him fully, we find a peace that no one else can give. 5. Protecting your privacy and honor. In today's world, sharing everything with others has become easy and common. People often tell their problems to many around them, hoping to find support or solutions. But in Islam, protecting your privacy and honor is very important, especially when it comes to your personal struggles. Keeping your problems private is not about hiding or being secretive. It is about preserving your dignity, safeguarding your heart, and maintaining respect for yourself and your faith. Your privacy is a precious treasure. When you share your deepest pains and difficulties with others, there is always a risk that your trust may be broken. Speaking only to Allah about your problems is the best way to protect your heart and honor. Allah promises to keep your secrets safe and respond to your prayers with mercy and wisdom. When you turn to Allah alone, you do not have to worry about being judged or misunderstood. He listens with kindness and understands every pain and fear inside you. Protecting your privacy also means respecting the privacy of others. Sometimes people share their problems with us in trust, and we must honor that trust by not spreading their stories. This shows good character and strengthens bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood in Islam. Moreover, maintaining your privacy helps you build inner strength. When you learn to handle your problems quietly and patiently, you develop resilience and faith. You become less dependent on others' opinions or sympathy, and more focused on your relationship with Allah. This strengthens your character and prepares you to face life's challenges with courage. In Islam, your honor is linked to your faith and actions. Protecting your honor means acting with dignity, patience, and wisdom, especially in hard times. When you keep your problems private and speak to Allah alone, you show that you trust Him completely. This trust is a source of honor because it reflects strong faith and reliance on the Creator. Sometimes, sharing your problems too much can weaken your position or give others power over you. People may judge, criticize, or look down on you, which can lower your confidence and hope. But by protecting your privacy, you keep your dignity intact and avoid unnecessary pain. It is important to remember that asking for help is not wrong, but where and how you seek help matters. Islam encourages seeking support from trusted and wise people when necessary, but always with caution and care. The best and safest place to share your deepest feelings is with Allah. who never fails, never judges, and always protects. To sum up, protecting your privacy and honor is a wise and beautiful part of Islam. It keeps you safe from harm, preserves your dignity, and strengthens your faith. When problems come, speak to Allah alone and trust in His mercy. This will bring peace to your heart and keep your honor bright in this life and the next. Remember, your problems are safe with Allah alone. When you speak to Him, you open the door to endless mercy, comfort, and strength. Trust in Him, be patient, and keep your heart connected to the One who never fails. May Allah ease your difficulties and fill your life with peace. If you found this reminder helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Xplorers. Your support means a lot and helps us continue sharing beneficial and uplifting messages.